Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Time Out. The title of my Time Out this week is simply Father. Father is a very unique word, and when you say it, nearly everyone gets a different image in their mind because everyone has had a different father experience. In the movie Forrest Gump, the character Ginny goes for a walk with Forrest, and their walk takes them to the house she grew up in. The house is now abandoned. As they approach the house, she becomes filled with painful emotions. She begins to pick up rocks, throwing them at the house and breaking the windows, and finally she falls to the ground, tears in her eyes. Forrest, narrating the movie, says, "I guess sometimes there just aren't enough rocks." Ginny had painful memories of her father because he had molested her, and those memories lingered with her all her life. For her, the word father conjured feelings of hate and anger. Some people feel abandoned when they hear the word father. Their father left them or abandoned them when they were young children, and they never felt the security of a father-son or father-daughter relationship. I know people whose fathers were in the house with them, always home, but never had a minute's time for them. When they approached him, he would say, "Get away, I don't have time for you right now." I knew one woman who, her and her sister decided to play a game and tell her father a whole damaging story. They made it up just to see how he would react. He responded by saying, "Oh, that's good, honey, I'll see you." He never heard them. By the same token, I have a cousin who wrote her father a letter one day, telling him how much she loved him and appreciated all that he had done in caring for her and others as well. When he died, she read it as a tribute to him as his funeral, and it was one of the most beautiful testimonies to a loving father I have ever heard. Why is this important? Why ask the question what comes to mind when you hear the word father? Because your understanding of father greatly affects how you see God. We almost always start all our prayers with the word father, which should bring to us feelings of security and intimacy, but many times, because of the fathers we had on earth, we just don't experience those things. Some people have a hard time experiencing the caring of God as a father. They have a hard time experiencing the love of God as a father. They have a hard time experiencing the trust. And it all boils down to the image they have in their minds when they say the word father. What is your image of God as Father? Do you see him as a disciplinarian who is ready to club you over the head whenever you get out of step? Do you see him as someone who is never there? Do you see him as someone who never has time? Or do you see him as someone who always watches over you and loves you? God is a perfect, loving Father who always and only treats us with affection and understanding. He only does what is good for us. He is always there. He always has time, even when it doesn't seem so. There's an easily overlooked verse tucked into the 3rd chapter of Jeremiah. It is a verse that is filled with passion and imagery. God is speaking to the nation of Israel who does not trust him and has even turned against him. And he says these words, "I myself said, how gladly would I treat you as sons and give you a desirable land, a most beautiful inheritance of a nation. I thought you would call me Father." Those words, "I thought you would call me Father," are packed full of the love, the trust, the mercy, the forgiveness, and the heart of God in wanting to be a good and righteous Father to us. So I say again, what comes to mind when you hear the word Father? And if you are a father, what comes to the minds of your children when they hear the word Father? So meditate on these words this week, and then ask God to place in you the image of Father He wants you to have. God bless you, and have a great week.